Me personally, I think it's the Carolina Panthers. They've got a 23-year-old quarterback that I think has a lot of promise. Listen, I don't blame Sam Darnold for what he endured. What did he have to work with? What was the running game he had to work with? What were the receivers that he had to work with? As a matter of fact, their best receiver at one time Robbie Anderson ended up going to the Carolina Panthers anyway.
Sam Darnold has never had an offensive player make a Pro Bowl in his 3 years. And he's 12 games under 500 as a starter. He's 13-25. But you know what the Jets' records are without him? 0-10. So now he leaves that situation and he goes. He has DJ Moore, Robert Anderson, who he had in New York, that they let him go to Carolina, who had a phenomenal year.
What's up, YouTube? We're back with another video, and today we're going to discuss the Carolina Panthers. And are they a playoff team? Yes, I've talked about the Panthers before in the past, but now we're going to get deep dive into this team with them acquiring Sam Darnold and everything they've done in the offseason leading up to the first game of the season. It's coming up pretty soon, next Sunday. The Carolina Panthers, man, this team is sufficiently young, but they are really good with the young players they have. Sam Darnold is a guy they acquired in trade when they traded Teddy Bridgewater to the Denver Broncos. Sam Darnold has never had this much talent around him at the NFL level, which is shocking to say because he was a high overall pick for the New York Jets a couple of years ago. But the New York Jets did not build around him enough like they should have. The offensive line was shaky. He had little to no receiver help. He was throwing to guys like Chris Hogan in the back end of his career. Just was a bad thing for everybody. Throwing to guys like Braxton Burrows and Chris Hogan and Brashard Perriman is no fun for any quarterback. I don't even think Tom Brady can make that work. He did with Chris Hogan, but names like that is just not going to happen with a young quarterback with a dysfunctional team, a dysfunctional organization, and a nutcase at head coach. Now he comes back. Well, he comes to the Carolina Panthers with Matt Rule as a head coach, who I think is a fine head coach. He comes from Temple. This is his second year in the NFL. And he's bringing it in with Joe Brady, one of the best offensive coordinators already in the NFL. And he has guys like DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson to throw to. Can you believe that Sam Darnold has never thrown to a 1,000-yard wide receiver in his entire career? And he was a high overall pick from the New York Jets. It was a third overall pick. Well, now he gets to do that with Robbie Anderson. He gets to reunite with Robbie Anderson on this Carolina Panthers team. And Robbie Anderson's coming off a season, he had his first 1,000-yard season. I'm starting to notice a trend here. When you get away from the Jets and get away from Adam Gase, things go up for you. And I'm liking what I'm seeing right now for this team. DJ Moore, we already know that he is a #1 receiver for this team. Robbie Anderson looks like he can be the clear-cut #2 to even suspicious #1 for this team. They just paid him a 2-year deal for $29 million, which is awesome for him. I'm happy to see him get his money. But the main thing is with this Panthers team is, can they protect Sam Darnold and can their defense get better? Now, I want to start with this offensive line. Sam Darnold has never had a great offensive line in his entire career in the NFL. And we see what happens. He has glimpses of throwing great passes on the run, throwing across his body, and he's a terrific passer. Even when under pressure, he has a lot of mobility. But any quarterback that is getting pressured over and over again, he's going to struggle a lot. But with this team, he does have the weapons with Christian McCaffrey as well. Look at Cam Irvin at left tackle. He's a great swing tackle. Yes, a great swing tackle. What that means is he can swing, you can pull him up on blocks. He's a good run blocker. He's not a great tackle overall. He's decent. He's not a horrible tackle. But you could do better there at the left tackle position. Pat Elflein's the guy they got in free agency. He could play center, left guard, or right guard. Right now he's playing the left guard position for this team. I obviously agree with that because he's a good run blocker as well. I like the way that he plays the game. He doesn't give up too many sacks, and he's good in run protection. I would love to try to put him at tackle to see if he can help out in that left tackle position, but he is playing left guard. So I can see them playing a lot of scat protection with this team, swinging a lot of things to the left, sliding the offensive line a lot to the left because Taylor Moton at the right tackle position, he's proven that he's been the best offensive lineman on this team for years to come, and he's really good still to this day. You have Matt Paradis, who is an awesome center from what I think he can do, good in run protection, really good in pass protection as well, and John Miller at right guard is no slouch, but he isn't one of the best. You look at the preseason game, Sam Darnold looked really good against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand it was a preseason game, but the offensive line had his dry spots here and there when it was letting Sam Darnold get obliterated a little bit. I think that you can slide in a Royce Freeman that they just signed, or slide in Chuba Hubbard, a rookie for this team, a running back, and just bring in some extra protection and put in Tommy Tremble, who is an excellent blocker that they just selected in this draft as a tight end. You have to do the little things with this team. You cannot just go 5 out wide every single play, because that would tear this team up and would also get Sam Darnold a bullet away from behind this offensive line. I think that he will be the future quarterback for this team. He's going to be their franchise quarterback. He's an awesome talent, and he has never had this much weapons around him, such as Christian McCaffrey, who's coming off an injury-filled season. But the year before that, he had 1,000 yards rushing and had 1,000 yards receiving, and he carried this team on his back. He had 15 rushing touchdowns as well. One of the best running backs in the entire NFL. The best running back, in my opinion, when healthy. He's a great receiver. He's a great running back. He can run routes for you like he's a wide receiver, and he can be your number 2 to 3 receiver any day of the week. And it was a point in time where the man was looking like the #1 receiver on the Carolina Panthers, and that was with Teddy Bridgewater. So we know what he can do. Teddy Bridgewater was not horrible for this team. Teddy Bridgewater was a band-aid for this team. He did not stop the bleeding, but he helped aid it a little bit. Sam Darnold is here to see if he can help this team win games, help them get over the hump. Because this was one of the youngest defenses in the entire NFL last year. And they were one of the worst third down defenses last year as well. But they have made some major changes on defense by signing Hassan Reddick, who had 5 sacks against the New York Giants, but he did have a double-digit sack season last season. You hope that he can come in and put in work with this team. And you see what Matt Rule's doing. He's getting a lot of people that he's familiar with, getting a lot of people that he thinks can help bring in the coach around this team. This is a young, fun team, and hopefully going forward that this team can be better defensively. Because like I said, last year, one of the youngest defenses in the entire NFL, and they stayed in a lot of games. They stayed in the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. It came down to Teddy Bridgewater getting them down there, and the kicker had to attempt a 70-yard field goal almost. And the same thing with New Orleans Saints. In the first game of last season, they had New Orleans Saints. Teddy Bridgewater takes a horrible sack, and it gets the kicker out of field goal position. So this team have shown glimpses that they can stick in there with the top teams in the entire NFL. They just need a little more of a push. And if Sam Darnold can make the slight adjustments, just do the little things, I think that it can help this team be above 500 and push them towards the playoff position. But the thing is, they've also added a young bulldozing corner in J.C. Horn, one of the best press corners in the entire draft class. And I think that he was the 3rd best defender in this draft class behind Patrick Surtain and Micah Parsons. But the Carolina Panthers got a guy that's select that they believe that can be matched up well against Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson is another press corner for his team. He's very aggressive at the line of scrimmage, and he has very good rangy speed. He's a very good lanky, lengthy corner. The thing is with him, he does get burned a lot because he likes to get a little greedy. But he has shown signs that he can be a franchise corner for this team. And you add that up with Jeremy Chinn in the back, who I think is this team's best defender on this team. Last season had a tremendous season at safety. He can play nickel linebacker for you. He can play free or strong safety for you. And you can also put him in the box and let him play a lot of roaming linebacker and let him walk the line of scrimmage and even come off and blitz a little bit. He's that good of a defender, and they have something with this team. You match it up with Byron Burns, who had 9 sacks last season, 21 quarterback hits, who was a guy that gets off the edge very fast, one of the fastest guys that can get off the line of scrimmage and get pressure onto a quarterback. And that's what this team needs. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Obviously, Derrick Brown had a disappointing season last season, but you do think that he can help more in the run game and help more generating and trying to push the pocket up front. I think Derrick Brown's going to have a bounce back year this year. He was a rookie last year, but I think that he's going to do more than just stop the run for this team. And even that will help this team as well, because they could not stop anything last season. Look at guys like Morgan Fox and Daquan Jones, good veteran presence, guys that can stop the run. They're just there to be in the way, to just try to help these guys learn how to play the game more and just try to gain more experience on this team. Getting Daquan Jones was really good for this team because the way that he can generate across the pocket and just try to stop the run. Just a good veteran presence. Not guys that are going to help move the needle, not guys like Aaron Donald, but they are guys that are great depth, and they're going to get off the block immediately and try to help these young kids develop more. It's about learning from the veterans on defense with this team. Like I said, you have Jeremy Chinn, Justin Burrows at free safety. He's a really good safety. He is a guy that doesn't give up too much in pass coverage. He could be better at tackling, but I like the way that he moves around, and he doesn't give up that many touchdowns as well. They could do better at that position, but as of right now, he still has some time to learn. He's still a young player, So let's just see if Justin Burrows and Jeremy Chin can help get things moving for this team in the back end with the safety position. But I really love them if they could just play single high safety with just Jeremy Chin and let Dante Jackson and let J.C. Horn just roam over the field and let those guys do what they do best. I would love to see that if that is possible. They haven't had press corners like this since James Bradbury left for the New York Giants, and having both of these guys right here is going to help out a lot and play physical defense the way that this team needs to be played. The question is, can this team make it to the playoffs? Obviously, the New Orleans Saints are going to be a question mark with Jameis Winston. I think they'll still be really good. But the Atlanta Falcons for this team, a team they lost to twice last season. One because Teddy Bridgewater went out with an injury and they had to put in a backup in P.J. Walker. In the other games, because Teddy Bridgewater took some horrible sacks as well. No one beating up with Teddy Bridgewater, but it wasn't all his fault. I think that they can beat the Falcons now. Obviously, they're in a little bit of a rebuilding stage, trying to win now, not really stage. I think that they'll be better than the Atlanta Falcons. I think that this team has the better talent than the Atlanta Falcons as well. When you look at it from a roster standpoint, when it comes to youth and coaching wise with this team, I think that the Saints are going to be a tough team for this team to beat. But like I said last year, they had the Saints on the ropes. First game of the season last season, could have set the pace. Just if Bridgewater wouldn't have took that sack and they kicked that field goal, they could have won the game. And I was rooting for the Panthers last year because I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I also like the Carolina Panthers as well. I wanted to see them succeed. And I think now having Sam Darnold, who's going to take more chances down the field, who's going to see more of the gray area down the field, is going to help this team moving forward. I think that they can beat the New Orleans Saints at least once or twice this upcoming season. When it comes against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm perfectly honest with you, that's a loaded football team. They've had a couple series where they was looking like they could hang in there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a division game. They're going to play them tough. But I just think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have too much, and I think they're going to win this division. But I think that the Carolina Panthers, obviously, they're better than the Chicago Bears to me. They may be in somewhat of a fist fight with the Minnesota Vikings, but I think that this team can get the last spot in the playoffs, or they can be a high wild card team with the talent that they have. It just depends on, can this defense be better on third down, and can they get stops when it matters the most, and can this team protect Sam Darnold, and can he clean up his act? I think that he is an awesome quarterback talent. He's still young. He's 24 years old. It's a contract year for him as well. So if Sam Darnold can be the franchise quarterback for this team, and this defense can be better on third down and second down, for sure that this team can make the NFL playoffs. I don't know if they can make it all the way to the NFC Championship, but I think that for the Carolina fan base, if this team can just make it to the playoffs, it'd be a plus sign of a win for one of the youngest teams in the entire NFL. But either way I look at it, this is going to be a really fun football team. I believe they can make the playoffs. I think that Joe Brady one day in the NFL, that he will be an NFL head coach because of the way that he calls the offensive game plan for Matt Rule. So you let me know in the comment section, do you believe that this team can make the playoffs? Or if you don't believe they can make the playoffs, let me know in the comment section. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. We do game reviews. It's going to pick up this Thursday, because this Thursday is the first game of the NFL season. We have the Cowboys versus the Bucks. And also I do game reviews on almost every team. You want more Carolina Panthers coverage, let me know in the comment section. Like I said, if you're new, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you around here. I want you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.